So I shared with you all in my newsletter last week that this upcoming week was going to be crazy busy. 4 out of the 5 weekdays, I'm going to be out of town. And I promised to take you all with me for all the fun. So on Monday, my husband and I went to Nashville, and that's about a 2-hour drive from us here in Paducah, Kentucky. We were going down because we had tickets at the Grand Ole Opry to see what we thought was going to be a concert. We'll get into that in just a minute, but we headed down. On the way, my husband has always wanted to go to a place called the Good Feet store. Have you ever heard of this? I told you all that he's having problems with one of his heels. Chiropractor says it's plantar fasciitis. It could be a bone spur. We don't really know. So he wanted to go to the Good Feet store. Have you ever been to the Good Feet store? I had never heard of this. I had no idea what we were walking into. And without getting into the whole thing, let me just tell you that these specialized insoles that they recommended for my husband, after almost an hour of measuring his foot and explaining all the process and all the things, $1,700 for these shoe insoles. $1,700. Needless to say, we left without any shoe insoles. But we headed on down to Nashville. We had made reservations at the Hotel Preston, which is in the airport area. And as soon as we pulled up, we were like, oh no, this cannot be good. The hotel was under construction. I mean, fully under construction. The outside, there were cranes and lifts and tiles stacked up in the parking lot. Went into the lobby, which was a little makeshift lobby. And oh my gosh, the sounds, the drilling, the workers everywhere. It was full on, literally full on construction. Didn't know this, made our reservation online. This was not disclosed, but here we are. So we check into our room. We're on the 10th floor. It's fine. Honestly, we couldn't hear any of the construction. It was over by 6 o'clock. We get up to our room and we actually have a pretty cool view. We could fully see the airport and all the planes coming in. So we get up into our room. We only had a couple minutes. We had to change our clothes because we were going to go out to dinner, which was kind of on the other side of town. And then we had show tickets at the Grand Ole Opry. So I could not decide what to wear. I picked out 2 dresses, and I thought when I was packing that morning, I was going to make a decision. I just could not decide. I knew for sure I was going to wear my cowgirl boots to the Grand Ole Opry, right? Like you have to. So it really was, which dress did I want to wear? I had a black 3/4 sleeve, kind of a tunic dress, and then a wrap dress that was shorter, had some ruffled, showed a little cleavage. I just couldn't decide. So I took them both to Nashville. Well, I had to decide at this moment. I had to get dressed because we had to leave. I put on the ruffled dress. That is the one that I really wanted to wear. And when I started fixing my hair and kind of touching up my makeup, I just thought, we're going to be sitting at the Grand Ole Opry. This is showing a little cleavage. I probably shouldn't wear this. So I ended up putting on the tunic dress with my cowgirl boots. And I had a little crossbody wallet, which is small, big enough to hold like my credit card and a little bit of money and my lip gloss and my phone and my keys. And I loved that it had a gold chain, so it kind of fit with the vibe of my outfit. And I'm really glad that I actually did choose this dress, which I'll tell you in just a second. So we go to dinner. My husband had searched around. Where did he want to go? He didn't want to go someplace that we were familiar with. And he found a place online called Coco's. It's an Italian restaurant, and then they also have an Italian market attached to the restaurant. So we drive over there. It's pretty cool. Like, the Italian market was full of crazy Italian cooking ingredients, things that you would never find at your regular grocery store. And then they had huge cold cases full of lasagnas, ravioli, pizza, sandwiches, all these things that they make homemade in the restaurant and pack it up, and you can get in there and take it home and warm it up for dinner. So it was really cool. So we looked around the restaurant, really enjoyed that, and then we had dinner. While we were deciding what to eat, we got an order of bruschetta, which I gotta say, I was a little disappointed. Bruschetta with pesto on it is supposed to be basil pesto. The minute I took a bite of this, it was made with parsley. So I was like, this is not so fantastic, but fine. We got a Caesar salad. It was really good. And then you all know me. If I'm somewhere and there's eggplant parmesan, that is what I'm getting. So I got the eggplant parm. My husband got a homemade fettuccine with a red sauce and meatballs, and they gave us some bread on the side. And then for dessert, oh goodness, he got the cannoli and I got an affogato, and we just kind of shared it. So we were fat, full, and happy, and we headed back to the other side of town to go to the Grand Ole Opry. So let me tell you a little story about these tickets at the Grand Ole Opry. Last summer, we saw Morgan Wallen in concert, and Bailey Zimmerman opened for Morgan Wallen, and he was really good. And out at the pool, we listened to Bailey Zimmerman. So he just released a new album. He said he was going to go on tour. I was like, great, let me see if he's going to be anywhere close by. So I got on Bailey Zimmerman's website, saw that he was going to be in Nashville at the Grand Ole Opry. And what do you know? Jelly Roll is going to be singing with him, performing with him. And I thought, that is perfect. Bought the tickets. We get to the Grand Ole Opry Monday night, and I've never been there. I did not know what to expect. We pull up, we're trying to park, and it is pouring down rain. Literally pouring buckets. So I get my umbrella, and I told my husband, oh, there's no way I'm going to walk in the rain. If they take my umbrella, they won't let me in with it. It's fine. They can have the umbrella, but I'm taking it. So we get up there. The doors don't open until 8:30 p.m. and we're standing outside. Thank goodness the rain stopped, but there are so many people just crammed into this courtyard waiting for the doors to open. Everybody is sweating. It is hot and muggy, and every now and then it would like rain for just a second and stop. So of course my hair was huge and frizzy, and that's why I'm glad I did choose the tunic dress, so I was a little bit more covered, because apparently there was a show before ours that ran a little bit late, and so we had to wait outside for about an hour for them to let us in. But it was pretty neat. We looked around. There were a lot of iconic things, really big guitars, and the Grand Ole Opry sign. The doors finally opened and we go in and find our seat. And I was really impressed. The inside of the Grand Ole Opry is so nice. It's like a circular Opry house with these huge benches. You don't have individual seats. You are sitting on benches, but they're nice and upholstered and cushioned, and everybody gets to sit down, and a little video on the screen starts playing telling you the Grand Ole Opry is going to start in 10 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes. It does a countdown. Well, we're waiting for the curtain to rise, and out comes like a radio announcer, and he welcomes us to the Grand Ole Opry. Long story short, this was not a concert. This was a show. This was a fundraiser. There were 6 country singers who were going to be there that night. Each of them was going to sing 3 songs, and in between each song, they were going to be raising money. They were raising money for an at-risk adolescent program or service in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's fine. I just feel like this should have been disclosed to us when we bought our concert tickets. We fully thought we were going to a concert. I thought I was going to be standing up for 2 hours, singing and dancing. So we were not. We were sitting down, watching a country show. Bailey Zimmerman was okay. He did a lot of talking and not singing, but the 3 songs he did sing were some of our favorites. Jelly Roll was really good. In the lineup was a guy that we weren't familiar with. His name was Marcus King, and we really enjoyed him. Little disappointed in the Grand Ole Opry. It's fine. We got out of there at about almost midnight and went back to our hotel. So the next morning we got up. We had already made plans. We were going to go to the Pancake Pantry, which is over by Vanderbilt in Nashville. It is the original pancake house, like the old school. We've been here many times, and because it was a Tuesday morning, we didn't even have to wait. We just walked right in. The place was packed, but normally there is a line, like out the door, down the sidewalk, around the corner line. Not this morning, went right in. So we needed coffee. Coffee, coffee, and coffee. So I like honey in my coffee, and the waitress brought me honey, but she also brought me some caramel syrup. And I thought it was for pancakes, but she said, oh no, put this in your coffee. It turned my coffee into something amazing. It tasted like I was drinking a churro in my coffee. It was so good. But Randy got bacon and eggs and hash browns, your typical breakfast. I got basically the same thing, scrambled egg, bacon. But if you go to the Pancake Pantry, you have to get pancakes. And we were in the mood for chocolate chip pancakes. So when this plate of pancakes came out, the pancakes were huge. The butter was really salty with the sweet chocolate chips that were melted and the syrup, and oh my goodness, we were stuffing our faces. So I'm drinking this coffee, eating bacon and eggs, eating pancakes with chocolate chips on them. We were stuffed, but we were not going to have lunch and we didn't have breakfast. This was basically our one meal of the day, so we absolutely made the most of it. So yesterday when we were going to do all this running around, I could not decide what to wear. 1 minute it was 70 degrees. It was supposed to be 89. It was raining in the morning, and before we left the hotel, the sun was out. So I ended up wearing just a classic little black tank top, some cropped olive color blue jeans, my little black sandals, wore the same little strappy crossbody with that gold chain. I was cute, I was comfortable, it was perfect for the changing weather conditions, and we did have a 2-hour ride home, and all day long my husband kept saying, I like you in those green jeans. Where are those jeans from? Like, those are some really cool jeans. I'm like, babe, I've had these jeans, I think, for 2 years. Did you forget that you've seen me in them probably 20 different times? But to be fair, I hadn't worn them all summer because it's been so hot here in Paducah. So he probably did forget that I have them. And honestly, I forgot that I had them. So I enjoyed wearing these jeans. They are from Chico's. I love their jeans. Always super comfortable. So I will link those jeans in the description box below, along with links for everything that you're seeing in this video. So if you like something I have on, you can buy it for yourself. Then from there, we wanted to go to some furniture stores. We were on the hunt for new bar stools for our kitchen. We have had these bar stools since 2008. They are worn out. The seats are starting to sag. We've even had the cushions of these chairs recovered 2 times, like stuffed and covered. It's just time for these to go. And our little town doesn't have enough furniture stores to have decent bar stools. So we thought, fantastic, we'll look while we're in Nashville. So we're looking at furniture stores. We went to several. They either had nothing to show us, everything they showed us was super cheap or tacky, not what we wanted. Then we went in Ballard Design. Now this is a high-end home decor and furniture store, and I knew everything in there was not in our price range. But I had stopped in there a couple years ago, and that's how I knew that. And I remembered they had a really large section of bar stools. So we went in there, walked right in, and found a bar stool that we fell in love with. They were having a sale. The bar stools were 30% off. We did some measuring, decided to bring one home, and I have it right here beside me. You can see I'm sitting in the old bar stool, wooden back, much taller. This bar stool has different tones, smaller back, so it will open up our kitchen. We got home last night with this bar stool. It is not going to work. The base measurements of this bar stool are significantly larger than our current bar stools, and we don't have a whole ton of room around our kitchen island. And by the time we get 4 of these new bar stools here, like, it's not going to work. So good news is I'm going back to Nashville tomorrow morning, and I'm going to be taking this bar stool back. The guy who helped us out at Ballard Designs allowed us to bring one home to test it out. I promised him I would be back on Thursday to either order 3 more or to return this one, and he said that was no problem. So they were really super nice in there. So this morning I get up, I walk into the kitchen, I look at the bar stool, realize not going to work. I get online, and this idea is what I start searching for. And I found on Amazon almost the identical bar stool. They don't have the little elevated side right here, which is actually much better. These are way harder to get in and out of, and the base of the bar stool on Amazon is the same size and shape of my current bar stool. So I think they're going to be perfect. So they're on order. I'll share them with you when they get here, but I'll pop in a picture right here so you can see exactly what they look like. So today is my only day of the week that I am going to be home. It is currently raining outside right now. I swear an hour ago the sun was out. I had to clean the house, go to the grocery store. I had to clean our bathroom. It's funny because I knew our bathroom was dirty. I knew it needed to be cleaned. But when we were gone for 2 days and then I walked in the house, the dirt just stood out. So I had to clean my bathroom this morning, took a shower, washed my hair because tomorrow morning I have to leave here super early to go back to Nashville. And I'm cooking dinner tonight. It's the only night of the week we actually get to eat at home. I wore this great little thin athleisure shirt. It is long sleeves, so I feel covered when it gets cool. It is super soft. I love the tight long sleeves, and I feel covered because right now I'm chilly, but later today the sun could come back out, so I'm totally fine in this top. And I have on my tennis skirt because I just needed to not be in jeans, but I wanted to be super casual, and I'm not ready to put on sweatpants yet. So in the morning, I'm heading back to Nashville. My daughter is actually going with me. I have a follow-up appointment with my hysterectomy surgeon. So it has been 2.5 years since I had my surgery. This is just a regular scheduled appointment. So I have to see him kind of off and on for 5 years after my surgery, and then I don't have to see him anymore. Woo! Because honestly, I'm tired of driving to Nashville for a doctor's visit. So I'm leaving for my doctor's appointment early tomorrow morning. My daughter is going to go with me, and I will share with you what we're doing later in the video. But for now, I've got some work to do. I've got another video to film because Amazon Prime Days is coming up October 7th and 8th. And I'm going to be gone the rest of this week. So I'm trying to get my work done today while I'm home. So I'm filming part of this vlog video for you and now an Amazon Prime Day video that you all will see on October the 7th. So I better get off here. I got to get my work done. But don't worry, this video is not over. I'm going to get to work, but now you're going to see what my daughter and I did on Thursday and Friday. Well, hey y'all, it's Friday morning. I'm getting ready to walk out the door to go to an outdoor vintage market. But yesterday, my daughter and I went to Nashville. It was a total bust. We basically bought nothing. So the day started off super early. I had a doctor's appointment at 11 o'clock, which meant I had to get up, get dressed, leave my house by 8:30 to drive to Nashville. There's just always something about getting out of my normal morning routine, having to make a 2-hour drive and knowing that I'm going to a doctor. It always just causes me so much anxiety. I always get a headache. And of course, that's exactly what happened. So the entire day yesterday, I had a massive headache. The doctor was running behind. It was like 12 o'clock or something by the time I even got out of there. We had to drive to the other side of town to get to the mall. We had lunch, screaming headache. So that was just me. But we were on the hunt for certain things. I have not told you all this. Unless you get my newsletter, you do know this. But I have been invited to a YouTube event in Los Angeles, and I am so excited. I have never been invited to anything like this. This is my first time, and I'm actually a little bit nervous. So I kind of knew in my head the look, like what I wanted to wear for the event. And so that was the sole reason that we were going to go shopping in Nashville yesterday. We were at the Green Hills Mall. We went in every single store and saw absolutely nothing. It was so disappointing. I only tried on one blouse, didn't try on any pants. I did try on a skirt, hated them both. And my daughter tried on like 30 pairs of jeans, didn't buy a single one. And I walked out of there after 5 hours of looking with 2 little bags. So let me show you what I did get. I went in Sephora because they carry my favorite makeup brand, Hourglass. and I was out of my two favorite things from Hourglass. So the volumizing glossy lip balm in the color Impulse, this is my favorite. I just got 2 sticks while I was in there. And then my cream eyeshadow stick in the color Prism, I got it. And y'all, I think they're discontinuing this. They had taken it down off of the display and the lady had to find it for me, kind of tucked away in a drawer. And I bought the only tube they have. This is I wear this every single day. It's like my favorite. Hourglass, please do not discontinue this. But I got 1 brand new stick. Then my daughter had been telling me I needed to try the new Rhode lip gloss. She said it is super sticky, the way I love lip gloss. And I got the color PB&J, so I'm excited to try that. I did put it on my hand in the store. They had another color called like Salty Tan or something. It was pretty light. I wanted something with some pigment, so I got PB&J. Then I went in the loft. I know I can always rely on the loft to find some just basics that I'm needing. And I got a plain chocolate brown t-shirt. I love their t-shirts. And I thought this would be really great for fall to wear under a denim jacket. I love brown with any kind of denim, just plain jeans. You could dress it up, dress it down. And I needed a good looking brown. And then as soon as we walked in, I saw this sweatshirt. And this style was everywhere. Every single store we went in, all the items were covered in these little metal studs. Shoes, purses, clothing, pants, everything. And I swear, I had a sweatshirt almost identical to this back in the 80s when I was in high school. And I have not hopped on the little stud trend yet for anything. And I thought, you know what? I can pull this off. It's a basic black thin sweatshirt with the little studs. Fine, I'll give it a try. So I bought those 2 tops in the loft. And then we went in a store called Evereve. And you all know I wear this gold necklace every single day. It is my absolute fave. And it's actually the only necklace that I own. But I walked in Evereve and saw this. It is a combination of gold beads and kind of bigger brown beads. I thought it was really classy. Let me put it on for you here. I put it on in the store, but we got home so late last night that I haven't even tried it on. So let's see what this looks like. Take this off. I have that little magnetic clasp on the back, which makes that super easy. I'll have to get one for this Evereve necklace. And this will definitely be a necklace for something a little bit more dressed up. I just loved the brown and the gold. I thought it was very classy, and I can possibly wear this to the YouTube event if I ever find an outfit. So after we shopped around for hours and hours and had zero luck, we ended up grabbing a very early dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. We ended up sharing an entree, the chicken Madeira, I think is how you say it. And then we got the Reese's cheesecake. We ate a little. Brecken took it home with her. Of course, I got my husband the banana cream cheesecake. And then my son-in-law wanted the plain cheesecake with strawberries on top. So we loaded up with cheesecake and we made the 2.5-hour drive home. I got home at about 9:30. Came in, laid down on the couch, fell asleep. That is how bad my head hurt. So shopping yesterday, because I knew we were going to be inside, I wore my boyfriend jeans from Quince, this gorgeous cashmere and cotton dolman sleeve sweater. I adore this sweater. It is so perfect. I have it actually in 2 colors. If you did not see my fall Quince haul, check that out if you want to see this little sweater in more detail. But I wore it along with my crossbody purse that I wore to the concert at the Grand Ole Opry that has the little gold strap, and I just wore little black sandals. So it was the perfect thing to wear inside shopping. Today, because we're gonna be outside and it's hot, I have on a white tank top. This is what I always call the perfect tank. Little scoop neck, regular bra friendly, which is the reason I love it, and it is not too long. I can tuck it in just a little bit if I want to. I can leave it out, hits me right at the hip bone. And then I have on these flowy linen pants. I actually have these pants in 2 different colors. Got them last spring and have worn the fire out of them. I'm wearing this kind of rust color today with a little Lululemon crossbody. and little strappy black sandals. These little sandals have been my go-to, y'all. I love these. So this morning I'm up, it's bright and early, I'm dressed and ready, the sun is shining. Ah, thank goodness. It is gonna be 80 degrees and beautiful, and I'm going to pick up my daughter. We're going to Marion, Illinois to the Magpie Market Vintage Outdoor Fall Market something. And this will be the third time we've been, and I adore this market. It is so fantastic. I have a wagon in my car because we buy so many things. So I'm here at Magpie Market Days, and the debate every year is, I have this wagon, like, do we just take it and drag it around all day, or do we wait until we actually need it and come back in the car and get it? My daughter said take it. I said let's come back to the car. We did not make it 20 minutes, and I'm already trudging all the way back to the car to get the wagon. But I have bought all these little adorable pumpkins. There's so many sizes and colors. I'll show you when I get home. And look at this vase. It is made out of an old tire, and my daughter got this gorgeous tray. So I am back at the car, dragging the wagon. She's getting an iced coffee, and we're going back in. So I just got home from the market, and Brecken and I had so much fun. We had 2 wagons full of stuff. So Magpie Market Days is full of antique booths, there's food booths, there's like fall decor, there's clothing, there's perfume, there's literally anything and everything. So you pay $10 to get in. It gives you this band. It's good for the weekend. You can come and go anytime you want to. I took a wagon because I've learned this is what you need to do. And every year at Market Days, I always find the coolest pumpkins. And this year was no exception. Lola is so excited to see me because I've been gone for a couple hours, but I got the most adorable tray that has a pumpkin on it. I'm gonna put it in the foyer. I think I have that big entryway table that really needs something kind of pumpkinish. I also got a blouse. Believe it or not, there were so many clothing booths there that had the cutest stuff, but it was so hot. Like, I could barely make myself try stuff on, but I saw this blouse and thought it might be perfect. I was trying to find something to wear to a YouTube event in Los Angeles. This little top that I bought at the market might actually be what I end up wearing. I'm gonna have to find some pants to go with it, but the top is absolutely perfect. And then we were almost finished at the market, and we came across one last booth that had the most adorable pumpkins. Here's all my cutie pumpkins. Look at this huge white pumpkin. I've got orange, and these are apple gourds. I have 5 of those, another big one, and a little funky green one. And the woman who was running the booth, her and her husband, she grew all of these pumpkins herself. So I was picking out pumpkins. Brecken was getting pumpkins. Brecken actually got even a tray that had a mirror in it. Super good looking. She'll put that in her house. So I'm going to now, tomorrow probably, get out my lighted maple tree and my mums and now all my pumpkins and decorate my front porch. So look at all of these adorable little pumpkins. Stripes. I got a brown one, I got an orange one, and I've got a black one. I cannot wait to put these on the dining room table. I think I'm gonna do it right now. There is this container made out of an old tire. I loved all of the brown stitching and the buttons up the back. I think this might look really good in front of my fireplace. But several ladies saw this while I was standing there, and the woman in the booth had it full of flowers, and it was adorable. But yeah, we'll see what I can do with this. But overall, we had a fantastic day. I am burning up, literally sweating. When am I gonna learn that when I go to the Magpie Market, it's gonna be hot? It is going to be full on sunshine. Why I didn't wear shorts this morning, I don't know. I regretted it the entire time I was there. Now I'm home. I'm gonna get my pumpkins out of the car. I'm gonna chill out for a second, take a breath. My husband will be home in about an hour, and then we're headed to downtown Paducah for barbecue on the river. So here we go to barbecue on the river. So barbecue on the river has been happening in downtown Paducah for 40 something years. It is a huge event. Everybody goes downtown for 3 days. We're going on Friday night because this is our favorite night to go. So there's like 22, I think they said this year,
local people that cook barbecue, smoke barbecue. There's all these competitions. This is not like a competition style barbecue festival, although they do give awards for best whole pig, best barbecue sandwich, that type thing. But these are local people who come together, and it's a fundraiser. So everybody has to get their meat from the same place, and then they smoke it and do sauces and whatever they want. And there's, you know, taste testers. It's always an honor who gets to be the taste tester, and then they give out awards. I think on this morning actually, although I don't know who won. Doesn't matter. I eat at the same booth every single time. The Buzzard Brothers, in my opinion, has the best barbecue sandwich ever. So the stage is set for barbecue on the river, literally on the riverfront in downtown Paducah. So there's live music, there's a beer and wine garden, there's barbecue, there's ribbon fries, there's all kinds of food and desserts and everything you can think of. There are fried Oreos, there's Cajun corn, there's cheesecake on a stick, there's pulled pork sandwiches, chicken sandwiches, you can get ribs, and I think you can even get brisket. There are barbecue tacos, barbecue nachos, you name it, it is downtown. Well, barbecue on the river was something. So many people down there, and we got a barbecue sandwich first thing that I swear had like more than a half a pound of barbecue on it. So by the time I ate like a third of that and had some chips, there was no way we could eat ribbon fries. Like absolutely no way. We saw them, they looked really good, but couldn't do it. So we walked around, we saw a bunch of friends, said hello to everybody, and we were trying to figure out what did we want for dessert, because there's just so many things. Lola, were you thirsty? So we ended up getting fried Oreos, which if you've never had a fried Oreo, it is like taking an Oreo and dipping it in funnel cake batter. They deep fry it so it comes out and it's hot, and like the Oreo inside gets kind of gooey and melty, and it's covered in powdered sugar. So it's really good. We actually had 4 deep fried Oreos. And then we headed home. So it's like 8 o'clock. We were out till 8. It was a great weekend, and now we're home. I'm headed, well, actually I'm gonna go rinse off because I'm sweaty. I'm gonna get in my jammies, and I'm gonna head it to the couch and have a super chill rest of the weekend. See you later.